Body wisdom, body insight. Insight's here to help you get through the week of September 5th through 11th. And we're here for motivation and inspiration for our self-care, for people care, and for earth care. Let's see what the body cards want to tell us about this week of September 5th through the 11th. For self-care, we have the stomach and affirmation. This is coinciding well with the late summer energies of Earth, which are affiliated with the stomach and the spleen and a few other things. For people care, we have the cerebellum and grace. For earth care, we have the teeth, commitment. We will begin with self-care and the stomach. Let me use the other side of this stick. It's a heart here. Help me point. On this card, we have the keyword affirmation. Now, we all know that our stomach is an organ of digestion. We take things in, food and drink, and if our taste and smell doesn't let us discern whether that food or drink is good, our stomach is going to make the final assessment. Let's think about what the stomach does. It takes in food and then deconstructs it, takes things apart so that our bodies can absorb them and utilize them. That stomach acid in there is extremely powerful. I think I read somewhere that it could eat away at a nail, or maybe that was Coca-Cola. Anyway, your stomach acid is extremely powerful. And so is your inner critic or your inner thoughts. And if you think about how we use our inner critic to judge information that is coming in, or judge our own behavior, actions, or thoughts, we have a similar thing going on here, don't we? So is it good for you or is it bad for you? This week, focus on utilizing very specific self-talk or affirmations to overcome your inner critic. Be very specific with the good things that you tell yourself. Leave no loopholes and no holes for negativity to seep in and begin to corrupt your operations. And that's a very good cue for how to deal with yourself this week. I know that I can sink into my own troubling well of self-doubt and just kind of float there for a very long time. Let's avoid that this week. Instead, use your inner critic to be an inner motivator or an inner inspirer. For people care, we have the cerebellum, grace. And the cerebellum is a smaller part of the brain. It's right above the brain stem, and it has a lot to do with our somatic body, so how we can move. And I love here in this picture, let me get my pointer, the use of the green nature here, and then here we have some symbols, numbers, and all numbers. This is like the logical and intellectual side of the mind. And you can see here that having equal amounts of both is what offers grace. If we think about what grace means in our movement, grace has a way of being sure-footed, balanced, and generous. There's something about graceful movement that catches our eye and holds our attention. Grace in action is kind. It is forgiving. It has a lot of gratitude embedded in it, and it is not selfless, but there is a unfettered giving of the self, an untethered offering of the self when an action is graceful. However, it is not an unlimited giving of the self. It is a specific amount of giving that is just right and fits the occasion. Here we have the cerebellum card in the space for people care. This card is asking you to forgive yourself or forgive others for bumbling, for not acting with grace, for not being balanced. I mean, it's human to fall down. It's human to make mistakes. And it is human to learn from these things. In fact, it is through our mistakes and through falling down that we actually grow, learn, and develop into more graceful beings. So where people care is concerned, don't dwell on the bumblings of others. Instead, intentionally add grace to your actions. Choose to be kind. Choose to support the beauty in another person. When dealing with other people, tread lightly and carefully. Pause before speaking and listen with your whole body. What is that aspect of grace that is being called for from you? You have to really listen to know what it's going to be. When you listen and are specific with your response, you're going to be able to open up your relationships, create deeper connections, and transform your acts of people care into acts of grace, and they will be so well received. In the position of earth care, we have teeth, and the key word here is commitment. So whenever I see this card, I immediately think, oh my gosh, we're talking about biting off more than we can chew. Sometimes making a commitment feels like that after the fact. Initially, when we make the commitment, we have lots of motivation. We are sure that we can go through with this task that we set ourselves to. And then when we get into the middle of it, oh boy, did I bite off more than I can chew. Where earth care is concerned, you have not bitten off more than you can chew. It's just a long, lifelong, generation crossing process. You have strong teeth and you are tenacious. You can stick to your commitments. You can see your way through. At times you will need to pause, reconnect to both earth and to the heavens, re-energize yourself. But during those pauses, you have not given up your commitments. You are just recharging so that you can go forward and see your commitments through. As you power up, clarify your commitments. Really figure out what are your goals and the steps you are going to make to get there. Don't stop short. Your voice and your perspective is important. Earth needs all of us, all of our voices. Everyone's act of earth care. No one singular person is going to be able to do it all. But if we each can make a commitment, stick to it, do our part, do our share, then we share in our earth care. We share in our earth care as a human species. And that becomes one of the main ethical drivers of our culture. Wow! This is a powerful reading for the week of September 5th through the 11th. Thank you for watching, and if you made it this far, I need to ask you, please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. And if you enjoyed this body insight reading with movement prescription taken from Qigong and Tai Chi and yoga and Franklin method and somatics and just my background in dance, if you like it, then please share. Maybe someone else you know will like it too. Be well, everyone.